where on earth have the last 6 months gone? I've done the video saying what I was going to do to the car, I want to get ready for sprinting, blah, 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 blah. And it's just not happened. 6 months has just flown by. Work got really quiet at the end of last year. Got to a bit of a pinch point when you wonder what's going to happen. Luckily, it picked up again just before Christmas. So when I'm quiet, I can't afford to be sitting around on my hands or tinkering with my own stuff and playing with the car, because that's not going to get me any money. And then of course when it gets busy and jobs need to go out the door, again, I can't do anything and play with my own car, because that's not going to get the jobs done. So it's been a bit of a catch-22, and before I know it, 6 months have gone. So I'm going to come in a little bit earlier in the mornings, nick half hour at the end of the day in the evenings, and just try and get a few bits done. First thing, get that speedo problem sorted. So the car's got the speedo for when I'm on the road and it's working properly. But 6 months, let's take the cover off and we'll see if she runs. Well, she's got fuel in, but it hasn't been on charge or anything like that. So spin it around. Let's just see. It might be flat, but it's always been good in the past. I can forget what I've got to do when I get in it nowadays. And what I do is I give it 2 turns on and prime the pumps twice, because there's no check valve on my pumps. So it's nice to get the pressure to the rail. Look at that. Having a proper kill switch set up, you can see down there, really does make a difference. So I'm not starting this up, just leaving it. Let's remove the wheel chocks. So let's just move her outside. Just so that way I don't stink the workshop out. Boom. You have to mean it when you're pushing it out with this. Too old for getting in and out. So yeah, she's running. And what I'm going to do is this speedo. Let me show you. This lathe will run up. Got new light in there the other day. Going good. Got 4th axis in here now. I'll do some videos at some point on that for the machining people. But somewhere around here it says, here we go, I bought a new speedo sensor and some new plugs that keep getting smashed off. So we've got DTM plugs and then a little sensor. I like to get the ones, I'm pretty sure, yeah, there's an LED in the end there, so it lights up when it senses the contact. Now, this has always been underneath the car, picking up, I drilled and tapped the CV on the drive shaft so that this picked up a tiny little M5 bulkhead. But where it's positioned under the car, dead like that, straight up, it gets smashed off every time. So the car's running. I'm going to get it up on the stands, and we'll take the front driver's side hub off, because the wiring for this loom comes into the driver's side front wheel arch. And then I think I'm going to take the billet upright off and see if I can machine the upright, or machine something that'll attach to the upright, so that this is tucked in there and out of the way, and I can do it once and fit it properly and it don't get smashed off again. So yeah, let's get the car in the air. Back on its stands. Excuse the poor video, using my phone today. So we took the wheel off. There's the front setup. Some of you seen it, some of you not. And then this is our connector for our wheel speed. Just the DTM connector there. And then what we've got, let me just get under here and show you that previously, if I just turn this round by hand, you can see there's the pickup that I used before, and I mounted a bracket off here. Now I've done this long before I was set up, machining and whatever, and to be fair, it was crap. It was a bent bit of angle up here that held it, and of course this is quite an open section under the car. There's not much else in the way here, and it's quite low, and stones used to get up in there and smash it off. And I think I've replaced this. This will be the 4th time. And them sensors, you buy the quality ones, they're about 60 quid each, I think, with the plug and whatever, or I buy the plugs. By the time I bought it, 60 quid each. And I've had the last one last about 4 miles from my house. So I've been without a speedo for a while. But what we're going to look to do is mount it somewhere around here. Now I've got these cooling ducts that I made up before, and I've got the pipe for them, but I've done it when it's in the garage and I never put them on. But I'm wondering if you can just see in there, it's going to be really poor video, but I might try and pick up off of these bolts. Now when the caliper's off, there is just room under there. I'm wondering if I can machine the caliper mount. Let's come back a bit further. Oh my gosh, terrible quality. I'm wondering if I can machine this bracket through with some bolt holes and have the sensor coming up through there, because obviously it'd be nice and secure. It's not going to move, and it is actually going to be relatively I don't know, the bolts are going to sit, you can just see them through that gap about here. So anyway, we're going to unbolt this and see if we can make something that goes on there, and then hopefully we'll get this fitted once and for all. And then maybe while I'm under here, I can check out a few things, because the car's been sat far too long. You see the odd drip from places, and I know there's a very slight drip from the rear diff, so maybe I'll get that sorted. It could probably do with a fluid change. Still fingers crossed with this gearbox it actually works this time, but we'll see. So yeah, that's the video for now. Next instalment, I'll get the hub off and on the bench, and we'll see what we can do. I'll pull off the whole lot, I think. I'll take the shaft out. I'll keep the hub, the caliper, the disc and everything there, so I can work out what we're going to mount and how we're going to mount it. And then hopefully come up with a permanent solution that doesn't allow any debris and stones to get in there and break it off. So we've had a closer look at this now, and I've decided I'm not going to actually have to, fingers crossed, to take the hub and the upright and everything and the disc off the car. So what we've done here is we've removed the caliper, and we've removed the caliper bracket, which sits like them 2 bolts there. It sits in there like that. Now this is where we want our sensor, and we're going to pick up, it's going to be quite difficult to show you here, but if you can see there, we're going to pick up on the bolts which hold the disc to our billet bell, and then see, like my torque shoulder, see, side mesh comes in handy. Look at that, gosh, torque shoulder. Yeah, so what I'm thinking is when this bracket goes on there like such, and we need the sensor to be roughly in the middle, is what I want to get. Try and do this with one hand. Hang on 1 second. So the sensor needs to be positioned somewhere like that, but it is quite tight to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in the middle, and I'll put a cutout, just a semicircle relief in there to give me a bit of clearance. And then I'm thinking that I want to do a bracket which holds this and allows it to be adjustable in and out. We've got enough clearance on the arch of the caliper there, so even that would be close. Obviously once it's in place it's not going to move, so it doesn't matter how close it is, it's not going to touch. That radius of the caliper follows almost perfectly the radius of this disc. So if I cut a little bit of this out and give myself a bit of lateral adjustment, then we should be able to, obviously on the opposite side of this disc, I'm just going to show you this side, we should be able to align the sensor perfectly with the head of these bolts. Now I've had a measure up of the bolt heads that are sticking out the back, and because these are proper disc bolts from AP, they are all within 0.2, so there shouldn't be any issue with variations like when people try and come off the back of certain wheel studs and things like that, or different pickups that may not be perfect, and you might have to take the heads out and turn them down so they're all the same. This should be pretty good. So that's the plan, and again, I know it's laziness, but it saves me taking all this hub off because I haven't got any other reason to take it off. So yeah, that's the plan. I'll take the bracket over to the desk, I'll draw something up in Fusion 360, see what material I've got laying around, but I'm sure I've got some 3/4 or some 5/8 alley flat bar, and we'll look at making something up, and hopefully we'll keep this within, you know, a couple of hours and we should be done. So once I've drawn something up, I'll bring you back and show you. Cheers. what we want. If you're doing these on a production, you could adjust that offset so you don't get that step. But I only touched off the side of the vise. So obviously I didn't line it as well as I could have. That there is our bracket, so that's going to bolt onto there like so. That'll hold the little sensor in there. Just get it on the car and see how she fits. Okay, so we're back on. Try and show you in there again. Got the torch there. Now I know this is not ideal that I've clipped the wire to the brake line. Bad practice, but it's such a thin wire inside that thin sheath there. If anything ever happened, the wire would snap long before the brake line, but there's nothing for it to get caught on anyway. So there you see, it's mounted down there. Everything's back on and torque checked, so let's switch her on. Trip the pumps and that for the minute so nothing comes on. What I've also done, I'll show you that bit in a sec. So we should see LED contact off, 2, so we've got 12 sensors. So 12 sensors, we've got these 12 bolts around the wheel. Now to work out the miles per hour, you have to do the circumference. You have to do the circumference of the tyre, work out the rolling radius or the circumference of the tyre, and then there's a calculation for the Race Tech 2, so you have to do meters per mile, which we've got written down 1,609, divided by the circumference in meters. So the circumference of that tyre is 2.01 meters, equals 800.5 pulses. And then because we've got 12 pickups, we've got times that by 12, so 9,606 pulses on the dash. So if we go through our menu, and we'll come across it here, it says RPM, gear, and if we select that, there's our pulses. So we've got 9,606. That's all done. And then we'll give it a test. So I'll run it up in a second. I'll put the wheel back on. Jump in the cockpit. Don't need the steering wheel for the minute. Pumps back in. Fire up. Actually, we'll do one more prime. Fire up. So yeah, how fast does it go? We'll now be able to find out. Cheers for watching.